Hello everyone, my name is Rahman Khan and I'm here to teach you guys Chemistry 5070. Let's start with today's topic. We're going to study the particulate nature of matter 2.6 and this is going to be related to metallic bonding. I'm going to describe what is metallic bonding and I'm also going to share the properties of the metals as well. So let's begin with today's topic. Um, so how is basically a metallic bond formed? It is formed because of the force of attraction, which is holding the positively charged metal ions with, and there is a sea of free moving electrons in between those metal ions. So these metal ions, they are all positively charged and they have delocalized electrons which are randomly moving here and there. They are free moving electrons which are negatively charged, and these are positively charged ions. So this is how a metallic bond is formed, and it is usually present within the metals. So metallic bonding is it depends upon this movement. Um, it all depends upon the sea of free moving electrons. So we have a sea of delocalized electrons over here. So metallic bonding is it's very easy and it's not at all confusing. So we all know that up till now we know that the metals, they consist of lattice of the positively charged cations or positively charged ions, and they are all surrounded by the sea of delocalized electrons. So metallic bonds, they have an electrostatic force of attraction between these negatively charged electrons and the positively charged ions, and a large amount of energy is needed if you want to break these electrostatic forces of attraction. Why? Because we all know that positive and negative, they are strongly adhered to each other. So if you need to break these bonds, you need to have lots and lots of energy to break them. So they have which is why they have strong bond, and they have a high melting and boiling point. Of course, this might come in your minds and in your brains, because now your brains should be tuned to thinking like this. Okay, you need to think like this. That, for example, if the bond needs lots of energy to break, that means they might be having more or higher melting point and boiling point. If the bond is very weak and it does not need lots of energy to break, that means the melting point and boiling point is going to be less. So this is what the thinking needs to be whenever you are analyzing a question. When you're sitting in an exam or you're practicing for your exam, you need to think like this. All right. So this is, and now I'm going to discuss with you some properties of metals. So metals are basically good conductors of electricity. We all know this, that they conduct electricity very efficiently, even when they are in a solid state or even when they are in a molten state. So they can conduct electricity in all of these states. Why they can conduct electricity? They can conduct electricity because of these free moving electrons which they have. They have free moving and delocalized electrons, and there is a sea of electrons. So whenever they have to conduct the electricity, these electrons, they are going to conduct the electricity, and these electrons are basically responsible for the metals being the good conductors of electricity, right? So and how is this electricity being transferred? This electricity is transferred because there is a sea of a sea of free mobile electrons in between these positively charged ions. So when one electron has this electricity, its electric current is going to pass it to the next one, and then it's going to pass it to the next one, and it is going to conduct the electricity in between these positively charged ions, right? So this is how they can conduct electricity even when they are in the solid state and even when they are in the molten states, because they have the free electrons, free moving electrons. Now, coming to the next slide. So the metals, they are we generally say that they are malleable. Malleable means that the metals, they can be beaten up. You can beat the metals and you can make them into sheets, and you can even if you hammer them down, then you can even the layers of those positively charged ions, this slide over each other, and the metal becomes more and more thinner. Okay, so you can, this is how you can so here even they have this diagram is telling showing us that even a small stress is going to make the layers of the positively charged ions to roll over each other. So when the stress is released, they come back to their original position again. So this is the property that these, they can be rolled into sheets. If you want to hammer them, if you want to form into thin sheets, you can form them down by just hammering them or giving them stress, physical stress. And then, so this is the property, first property, which is malleability. The next property they have is ductility. Now ductility is that these metals, they are ductile, and if a metal rod is drawn by pulling it by some kind of tool, then you can even the ions, they are going to slip over each other and they will convert into a shape of a wire. They will turn into a wire. So they are also flexible. They're so flexible that you can form any shape. You can make them into sheets, and you can even make them into wires without any breakage. And if you're going to release that physical stress from them, then they're going to come back to their own position again. So this is a very unique property regarding metals that they have, malleability and ductility. So as I discussed that the metals, they have a strong electrostatic force of attraction. This having strong electrostatic force of attraction needs large and large amounts of energy to break their bonds. So that is why they have high melting and boiling points. Also, they are very hard, and the metals, they are insoluble in water. They're not going to dissolve in water, and not even in the organic solvents, petrol and other organic solvents. They are not going to dissolve in these. All right. So these were a few physical properties regarding metals with, concerning their structure and bonding. Now I'm going to discuss a few practice examples with you guys, which are from your past year exams. And the first one is, which substance has the metallic bonding? Now we have to see this regarding the, we have to relate this to the physical properties of the metals. Now we know that the metals, they can conduct electricity even when they are in the solids, and even when they are in the liquids. So they can conduct electricity. So this and this is going to just, we're going to negate these two options. And the state of product formed on reaction with the oxygen. When they're going to react with oxygen, obviously they will form an oxide, metal oxide. Whatever the metal is going to react with oxygen, it is going to form a metal oxide. So this metal oxide is going to be a solid. It is going to have a solid state. So this is going to be 1A, right? And we also discussed that the metals, they are hard. So this is one more reason here. Coming to my next slide. Now below are the two statements about the metals. The first one is, metals contain a lattice of negative ions in a sea of electrons. So we already know that they do not have negative ion. They do not have a lattice of negative ions. They only have a lattice of positive ions in a sea of electrons, right? Then electrical conductivity of metals is related to the mobility of the electrons in the structure. So this one is correct. That which statement is correct? So we know that statement 2 is correct and statement 1 is going to be incorrect, because metals, they contain a lattice of positively charged ions in a sea of negatively charged electrons. So statement 2 is going to be correct, because electrical conductivity of the metals is related to the mobility of the delocalized electrons in the structure. So 1 is going to be incorrect and 2 is going to be correct. So 2D. Then the next one is that the this element has X has a lattice of positive ions and a sea of electrons. Which property will X has? X will have a property of conducting electricity by the movement of ions and electrons. We know that the metals they conduct electricity because of the movement of electrons and not by the movement of ions. Okay, so A is going to be incorrect. Then it has a high melting point. This is absolutely correct. Then it is decomposed by an electric current. No, and it is not malleable. It is malleable. So B is going to be the correct option, that they have a high melting point because of high or stronger electrostatic forces of attraction. Coming to the next one, now the conduction of electricity by metals is carried out by the movement of. They are carried out by the movement of electrons only, electrons and positive ions, negative ions only, negative ions and positive ions. So we know they are only going to conduct the electricity because of the free delocalized electrons. And the next question is, all of the following substances they can conduct electricity. Which substances conductivity is not due to the movement of the electrons? So we know we have to figure out which one is the metal, because only the metals are going to conduct electricity because of the movement of the delocalized electrons. So aluminum is a metal, graphite is a metal, right? Graphite is not a metal, it's a giant covalent substance, but it is going to conduct electricity because it has free moving electrons. It has delocalized electrons between the layers of its graphite sheets, right? And mercury is also a metal, so it is also going to conduct electricity, right? Then we have lithium chloride only. So which one is not going to conduct its electricity due to the movement of the electrons? Lithium chloride, because it has ionic bonding. So lithium and chlorine, they are positive and negative ions, they're cation and anion, so they have ionic bonding in between, right? So it's going to be 5C. So this was it for today's lesson, and I'm going to continue with the modes now. So I hope up till now all of these chapters, they are all clear. If you guys have any queries still, please ask me your questions and comment down on this video with your queries. You can even ask me any question in which you have any issues or you have any ambiguities. I will answer to them, and thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. Allah Hafiz.